Welcome to Community Day, July 1st, 2023. We're going to talk about upscaling, some really nice workflows that involve multi-diffusion. We're going to look at control net a little bit, kind of walk through the process of how this is done, and just talk about a lot of stuff here. I've got Revolved with me here. Go ahead and
Hello.
say hi. We've spent a lot of time this week trying to understand just some really good settings that everybody can set it and forget it, get some good results right out of the gate, and then they can kind of fine tune from there. That's kind of our goal. We did do a live session just a little bit ago, but then we realized that everything was in 1080p, which is totally fine. But if you're trying to show people some amazing upscaling techniques, you got to record it in 4K. So we hooked it up to our 4K monitor here. We got all our settings dialed in. We are recording this in 4K, so you can really see the difference. Without further ado, let's dive right in. So we're going to show you how to not only upscale, but also add details through that upscaling process. So this is the image that was generated through a prompt, and then this is the image that was generated through the upscale process. So go ahead.
Yeah, was that multi-diffusion that you used to upscale it there?
This one is multi-diffusion, yes.
Yeah, we just recently added that to the server, so everyone should have access to that. It's a pretty new extension. Well, it's new to us extension, but it's a great extension for doing upscaling. It kind of combines a lot of things that we've seen in the past with other methods into a new way. So it gives you a lot of extra control.
There's what, 3 methods? High res fix, this method, and then a control net tiling method that we know of, right?
Yeah, the ultimate upscaler script is kind of what everyone used before this came out. And it got a little bit better with tile. But multi-diffusion really kind of takes what the ultimate upscaler script started with and then adds that capability in, but you can go that much further with it.
So if we wanted to just take a quick look at the 2 different versions, the ones that we like, high-res fix is great, but high-res fix doesn't really add details. It just kind of upscales all of your artifacts, and sometimes you get like a stained glass window almost effect. So we're going to look at the 2 upscaling techniques that actually add, detail. So let's take a look at that really quick. So we have this photo of a mermaid swimming underwater, and one of them was done through multi-diffusion or tiled diffusion, and the other one was done through control net tiled. Okay, can you, like, just off the top of your head, Revolves, can you tell which one was done with which technique?
No, I mean, they're both great quality images. These are done on the run diffusion. What is it, photorealistic or the effects model?
This one was photorealism. Yeah, photorealistic. I'm gonna bring this in front here.
Yeah, I mean, like the water reflections are great. What I noticed on this one that you're, zooming in on is like you've got some things that are really great about it, like the coloring of the water, the light rays coming in, the reflections on the mermaid. Yeah, those are really great. But then there's some like oddities about it. Like you've got this like weird tail with a face, like a fish face in the background and an upside down fish behind it.
Yeah.
That orange fish in the background, sort of like its gills are like part of the background. So yeah, some weird things.
And then this one.
And with this one, yeah. So I like the like. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So I like the like, the face contrast pops out a little bit more. Maybe like one of the eyes is not as great. The belly button's different. But there's no like fish face in the background. The coral looks a little bit more realistic on there. So, both of them kind of have their good sides and their downsides, but they're clearly different methods.
Yeah.
Both of them are tiling the upscale.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's give it away. This one was done with control net tiling, and this one was done with multi-diffusion. And some people like this one. Like this fish is the contrast looks really good. There's not this weird looking fish here. The coral looks very alive. The color looks very good. This coral looks very detailed. But this one has better hair, for example. maybe a little bit better belly button, like you said. The hands are a little bit better. The face looks a little bit better. So yeah, there's definitely some pros and some cons. Well, is what we're going to show today is a nice formula that you can really just get good results 99% of the time, set it and forget it. You don't really have to worry too much about, finding the right settings. We're just going to give them to you. That's kind of the goal. That's the hope here. So this is the, let's move on. Oh,
I just want to add in one thing. So, there's a lot of benefits to both, and you could look at these two images and say, okay, this one's better or this one's worse. But what it comes down to is like, you're the artist, you're making the decisions, and you get to choose which one works the best for you.
Yeah.
And hopefully this method, like, you'll get the best of both worlds and combine them, but just know that you have like different options available to you, and you can use the best ones, to upscale the way that you want to ultimately.
Yep, exactly. And some people remember this post on Reddit where we showed off go from this to this. And so let's talk about this really, really quick. So this was our generation, and here was our prompt. This generation we took and we sent it through our upscaling process, which added a whole bunch of photorealism, added some really awesome detail here to this like wood grain. Let's zoom in really quick. So look at this detail that you're getting. Look at her eyes, like her eyelashes, her eyebrows, her hair, this belt here around her neck. Her earrings look really good. And we'll just continue. I ran a few tests with some different settings. Another really good example here. I think this one's a little bit more real than this one. Well, they're both really good. It's
interesting because this one, the earrings look cool, but the eyes, I feel, look a little bit more natural, and the facial expression. But the skin looks more natural on the other one on the left, right? Like maybe the lighting looks a little better in that one. This one, you got like an eye weirdness happening there, like a double eye, right?
Yep.
But yeah, definitely some clear differences in them. But I mean, the detail is amazing. Like, you're getting some really fantastic detail there.
Yeah.
Like the leather, the intricate like leather working that's going on. Yeah, it's very cool.
So what we're gonna do is we'll just grab this prompt right here, and we'll grab this this negative prompt, and let's just jump in and let's try and kind of let's recreate what we did here. And do it again. So I got a server spun up. Let's go ahead and extend this a little bit here. Okay, we got an hour and 34 minutes. Let's go ahead and just like punch in what we were doing here.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I'll just mention a few things. Like, I think with this, the nice advantage of using tiles is you can use a smaller server to do the upscaling. Before these tiled methods came along, you were really limited because you're limited by how much VRAM the card had. So you'd get these out of memory errors whenever you tried to upscale. And the upscales weren't like that great either. I mean, they were okay, but they were limited in the fact that it wasn't generating new details in all the time.
Right.
If you just upscale it through the extras tab, it won't like add new detail in. And what's really powerful about this is you do have the ability to add more detail in. So you said something controversial about high-res fix, because I love high-res fix. I use it all the time, and you're like, no, you can't get it right. It really comes down to the denoising, how you use the denoising to get a good image out of it.
Oh,
and
really?
If you think about multi-diffusion, this new extension, it's doing very similar things to high-res fix. So they're very similar. You can use it in the text to image. You can use it in the image to image. What we're going to do here is we're going to high-res fix an image in, and then go to image and use that to do the multi-diffusion upscaling on it. But you have the ability to do that in here as well. The nice thing about high-res fix is it kind of uses this latent space to reimagine the image, and it will work really well with some images like the Run Diffusion models where they're trained to do larger resolutions. They're not just using the 512 by 512 kind of default training. They're trained on like different aspect ratios. So some models will really respond well to the high res fix. You
And
won't get
you're
like
right, and some
those
don't.
duplicate faces, the like weird extra arms or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, so you can get some really good results out of it, and it just takes a little bit of playing around with high res fix before you get it. But the nice benefit of using high res fix is that's when you can add in a detailer, which is also on our servers, and a detailer will auto detect the face, the hand, and then you can use the control net in paint to immediately zoom in on that face and in paint it over. And you can choose the prompt. If you want to just pop up the a detailer tab
yeah,
there.
sure.
So if you just hit enable here, it'll use that default prompt on the next one.
So I don't
And
have
it
to
will,
put anything in here.
don't have to put anything
Oh,
there. And the
nice.
control net model, just put in paint on there,
Right
and
there.
then you're good to go. So then the next
Seriously?
one,
That's all you have to do?
yep,
Let's do it.
all you have to do.
Okay.
So we'll auto detect in paint. You can do it for hands too. The hands are a little trickier, I find. You need to have like a good hand prompt. But yeah, this can work really well just for getting that little bit of extra higher detail. And what's nice about this is when you take it to that next step of multi-diffusion, of upscaling it again, it's going to have an even more like consistent, clearer face to use for that upscaling.
That's
And
a
the
good
quality
point.
will just be that
It'll
much
just
better.
be amazing. Right, exactly. Okay, this one looks pretty good. So what we're doing here then, we're doing high res fix. We're going to 1024 by 1552, and we're adding the a detailer to go in and fix the hands and the face. And yeah, there's that fun little reversal. Wow, that actually turned out way good. Sheesh. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, there we
I mean,
go.
one of the
Cool.
eyes is a
Little
little
goofy.
off there. She's
Yeah.
got a white eye. Maybe do another one.
Maybe, let's do this. Let's say not looking up. Let's do that. Let's do one more. That actually, God, wow. Look at that. This is great. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, the high res fix when you upscale it after makes a really nice difference. And
Just
that
right out of the
extra
gate, you get something really good.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, high res fix always worked better than the upscalers before, and people were like, it's weird. Like, I upscale it, I don't get the best quality, and that's because it's using this sort of latent space, which is like this diffused
It's
space
like
before it turns into an
virtual
image.
virtual
Yeah.
space, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this area of uncreated image. So with a normal upscaler, it's using the pixels, it's using the existing image. In this case, you've got that latent space.
What do you
There
think
you
about
go.
this one? Do we like this one?
Yeah, that looks great.
That
I think
looks
we're gonna
really
get
good.
lots of great detailing on the
Yeah.
clothing
Look
there.
at that.
Yeah, the
Okay, I
necklace
love
is
it.
gonna be cool.
Okay, here's
Armor
our
texture.
here's
Yeah.
our base image. This looks awesome. Now, one thing we have to do is we have to move this into Burmy. We can't send this straight to image because it's too big. But we have a lot of details because we generated this in a high res fix, so it did add a little bit more details for us. So I'm just gonna grab this, just save the image real quick. And then I'm gonna push this into Burmy. And I'm going to tell it to make it 512 by 766 and make sure that the image format looks good. Save that file. Okay, that's all I had to do.
Now, why are you downsampling it?
So the reason why is because if I send this into Multidiffusion wants to use the source image dimensions. If you sent this as a 1024 by 1552 into Multidiffusion and then you told it to upscale at 2x, it's going to take 45 minutes. It's just going to be way too long. So what we're doing is we did the high res fix so we get the details that we want. Like we get the details here in the shoulder and in the clothing and the hair. We have a lot of really good details to start with. But I need to downsample it. That way, I'm not losing those details per se. I'm losing pixels, which is fine because Multidiffusion is going to go find those again and create something even better than what we were able to do here. All right, so what we're going to do is we just finished generating our image. We used high res fix. We got a really good looking image, as you can see. We could stop there if we wanted to, right, Revolve? Like we could just say, all right, that's good enough, because that's pretty good. But let's say that we want to even go further, get some more details, get the skin to really pop out, and like get this really blown up really big. So we could do that. I'm going to use Burmy. I just downloaded it. We're going to do 512 by 766. Just this way we don't run out of memory when we go and do the upscale. And we could still try sending it for a 20-minute upscale if we really wanted to, but let's try and keep the time wise.
Yeah,
here.
and you get good results with this. So if you you want to use high res fix to scale it up, to use a detailer to do that in painting and just get the face like really looking good.
Yeah.
And then if you get that extra detail and then you scale it down and you'll get a faster result for the increased size image. If you really want to sit there and get the giant image. I know we used to have this guy on our Discord who would make 8,000 by 8,000 images all the time and just
8K,
you can go down that route. But this way it's fast, you get the high quality image, and
Totally.
you're not spending all that time fiddling trying to get it to work without out of memory errors and changing different encoder sizes and stuff. Not necessary. Just downscale it and then upscale it again.
Right.
It seems kind of backwards, but it makes it work
It does.
fast.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So that's what we're gonna do. So we just finished our image here. We downloaded it. It looks great. We're gonna again, you could stop here, but we're gonna go ahead and downscale it again, so that way we don't lock our box up because we tried it and it didn't work. So here we go. We brought it in. We have our same prompt. We have our same negative prompt. We brought in the image that we just downloaded from here with these dimensions right here, 512 by 776. Same everything. We're going to move our CFG to 7.5. We're going to move our denoising strength to 0.39. We're going to leave our prompt. Now, what we could do is we could just put a whole bunch of descriptive words into the prompt, like detailed hair, detailed leaves, clothing, belts, leather. We could put all that in there, and when it goes through that tiling process, it'll use those words to create more details. But it works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Depends on kind of what exactly your end goal here is. If it's a person with a lot of different objects on the person, like different clothing types, different fabrics, different skin, things like that, then go ahead and just leave your prompt. If you start seeing birds and feathers coming in her hair, coming through into her hair, then you're going to probably want to remove those words and get them out of there, because maybe I can actually show you an example, but let's go ahead and see.
And one thing I want to talk about here is just when you're doing this, it's tiling, right? So it's taking little tiles and then diffusing those tiles, upscaling them. It's taking a smaller tile, blowing it up into a larger tile. So the tile that it's grabbing will use that prompt. And if you really want to get specific and take some time and get a great image, again, this is the fast and efficient method. But if you want to really spend some time to get a giant, beautiful picture, you can use things like the the regional section. Let's just take a region prompt control.
Let me make sure this is running. Okay, we're gonna let that run. You want to talk about region prompt control really quick? Is that what you want to do?
This way you can draw on the image, and you could do a box around the face, you could do a box around the armor, you could do the rest, you could note that it's the background. And so this way it really gives you the capability of determining what that prompt will be for each tile. So
yeah, let's show
it's
it really
very,
quick.
very powerful. There you go. See? You can enable a region, you make that foreground, make it her face.
So we could do something like this, we could say height like that, and be woman's face with detailed hair or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
make it foreground instead of background, right? And then you can use your own negative prompts. One question we got in the live stream was how do you use LoRa's with this, right? Because you've used a LoRa to generate the image, and now you're going and upscaling it, and it's not able to use the LoRa in the same way because it's tiling it. So what I like to do
good point.
is I do this with a detailer as well, is I will actually use the LoRa, but turn down the weight. So for example, if I'm using add detail LoRa in my initial image, if I do it upscaling and use the same weight, there will be so much detail. You'll get all kinds of stuff in there, and it will become one of those mosaic collage images, right? Which is definitely not what we're trying to create here. So you can lower the weight. In AT Taylor, I'll like, turn it from a point 0.6 add detail weight to like a point 0.3. And if you do the same thing here, you can still use your LoRa to get that style that you want, but you can just turn it down. And if you're doing like a background, maybe you don't need to use it at all. Your denoising's pretty low, so it's not going to change the image to a large degree, so you don't need to worry about it. So just keep that in mind. You can use LoRa's, you can use embeddings, but you just have to carefully weight them so they fit
Yeah,
in
that
it.
makes sense. Yeah, no, that's good. So I sent this through while we were chatting. Let me just go over these settings really quick. Enable tile diffusion. It's also called multi-diffusion. With the method, I've played with multi-diffusion. It's fine. You just have to get the settings dialed in correctly. But I use mixture of diffusers. And then with the latent tile width, latent tile height, latent tile overlap, and latent tile batch size. Latent tile width is the width of the tile when your image is going to be upscaled into that latent space. So we told it to upscale it by 2. So take 512 times it by 2, and that's 1024. And then you take, is that the width? Yep. And then you take 1024 and you divide that by 112, and that tells you how many tiles you're going to get. So you just need to be careful not to have 50 tiles because it's just going to take forever. So again, 512 times 2, 1024 divided by 112 divided by 112. And I'm going to do 9 tiles wide. Okay? Latent tile height, let's do the same thing. 776 times 2, 1552 divided by 160 is 9 tiles tall. So we're roughly 9 by 9. I don't know why, it just works well. Just keep that math consistent. Keep it within those bounds because, I don't know, it just works well, having 9 tiles. And it's not like doesn't take forever either, so that's good. And then the overlap is how many pixels each of the tile is going to overlap. And we said 92 pixels, so that's going to bring in, here I can actually show you kind of what this means. Right here. So this is tile width by tile height, tile overlap, 12 tiles in total. So refer to this image to kind of understand how that all works. Okay.
Yeah, and that's on the Multidiffusion
Website.
GitHub. Yeah, one of the other questions we got was like, what's the advantage of larger tiles versus smaller tiles? And there's actually a lot of thinking in here. If you're using a larger image, you need more tiles because it's loading each tile into the VRAM. And if you have larger tiles with larger resolutions, you're quickly going to run into the issue of running out of memory on your GPU.
Right.
So especially with smaller cards, you have to be very careful about that. So the thing is, if you're doing smaller tiles, there's like less information in the tile. So it's actually maybe not able to get like the full picture. And this is what you notice like in painting when you do select masked area or select whole picture, right? That's how you have to kind of think with tiling is if you do whole picture, it'll have more context. It'll be able to like better fit the image in, but the smaller tiles won't be able to fit it in as well. So just keep that in mind. You get a little bit of memory advantage with the smaller tiles, but you don't get the like contextual information from the larger tiles. That makes it fit in well. So in this case, 9.
You've got to find like a good balance because 9 seems to work. 12 to 9 seems to work really well that I've noticed. I mean, that's just what I've noticed. So here's the 2 images that we just generated. Whoops. So this was the first one, and then this was the second one. Both
maybe
really,
zoom
really
in.
Good, yeah.
Zoom in really close on the upscaled one.
Let me move this down here.
Let's take a look at the upscaled one because it's hard to see when it's just a small image, even on 4K. Yeah. Now the eyes came in differently.
Yep. That happens, and I can show you how to fix that.
Yeah, that's just because they were on different tiles, right?
Right. I'm not happy with this quality, to be honest with you. It doesn't look as detailed as, kind of like what we've done what we've done here, you know? I mean, like, look at that. Like, that's such a big difference. Well, this is closer, so that would also be why. But yeah, if this were closer up, it would probably get those details to shine through. But yeah, so the reason why, I mean, I'm not too happy. Maybe we could bump this up and get some more details out of it. Maybe bump that up just a little bit. And I don't want to play with this too much.
Well, let's try this one more time, and then
Okay.
you know, we did say we were going to combine it with the control net tile, so we'll try that after,
Okay.
right at the start.
Sure.
See how we go. Yeah.
So let's do that. So we bumped this up, bumped our steps up. I didn't change anything down here. I mean, we could scale it just a little bit more, like 2.2, just to get a little bit more detail in here.
All right, let's check it out.
Let's try that. And this will change where our tiles are being placed as well.
Good point. Yeah, that 2.2
So
will make a difference.
It might fix that eye problem that we got.
Right.
All right, this looks good. So we just sent that It actually looks really good.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez.
Got the same eye colors.
Yeah. 2 ears up there a little bit, but that's okay.
Really notice that. I think the skin texture is better.
It is. You got some moles in here. She is wearing makeup, which is.
Hey, you know, medieval fantasy world.
Look at.
Still got to look good.
This is really good. This leather texture right there.
Yep. Same with the cloth texture underneath there. Yeah,
That
the
looks
armor
really
detailing.
Good. Yeah. Wow. That's a great looking image. That looks great.
Yeah, well, why don't we do a comparison between this one? We'll leave that one, and then we'll do the exact same settings, but with control net tile, and just see what the difference looks like.
Okay, let me grab this one so we have it saved. Yep, there it is. We're gonna call this. This one was tile diffusion. Okay. Okay, so we just did a tiled version. We're going to keep all the settings the same, and we're going to do a control net version. We're going to kind of see which ones turn out better. So same CFG scale, same denoising strength. We're just going to disable tiled diffusion here, and we're going to enable control net and control net tile. So enable control net tile, pixel perfect, select the tile, I guess quick setting is what, I don't know what it's called. Tile resample is what we want for the preprocessor. The model will auto select for you. Control weight, put it at 0.8. Keep everything else the same here. And then you'll come down to script and you'll select ultimate SD upscale. You'll select scale from image size. Put it at 2.25 because that's what the other one was. And then with your, select your upscaler. We use Ultra Mix Balanced. Tile width is 512 by 512. Padding is 45. Mask blur is 8. And then you can do this. We'll just save some time. We don't have to. And then, yeah, perfect. So we'll just roll with that. So come on back up here. Hit go. Okay, so the generation's done. For some reason it's squishing it, making it really tall, but you can see how much detail came through here, how good that looks.
Yeah, those eyes that are, you know, very obviously a very different color than the original image. You could use the control net color fix option in order to get better results from that.
To fix those eyes? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
Should we try that? Because I kind of want to fix the
size thing.
The size for some reason. It's just coming through funny. Maybe let's make sure yep, that's correct. Just resize. Maybe we'll crop and resize. Maybe that'll
No.
it.
It's down here. Resize that one. Yeah, that's probably what we need to do.
That one.
Just resize. Yeah.
And then let's do the color fix sharp. Try that one.
Yeah.
Do maybe just keep these the same. Okay, let's see how that looks. I noticed that on the width, 512 is giving us barely over 3 tiles. Let's bump this down just a tiny, tiny bit on both of these. And we'll get
By the way,
smaller tiles.
yeah,
Right?
on the multi-diffusion GitHub, they're really saying like don't put any objects in the prompt.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember hearing about that, like belts and straps, because then you'll get like a tree that turns into a belt.
Yep.
You know, and you're like, oops.
Yep.
Yeah, we could. So I've heard just oversimplifying your prompt can really help. Where you just say like, you know, high res, 35 mil, intricate details, HDR, hyper detailed, natural lighting, hyper realism, sharp, and just going with that, because then it'll take what you've got and just apply all those styles to each tile, and I've heard people getting good results with that. But yeah, this one's the ControlNet version. So ControlNet is what ControlNet's going to do is actually try and, I guess, reimagine that tile a little bit instead of just adding details to the tile, which is what multi-diffusion does. And so here it comes. Let's see how this looks. Still squished.
Yeah, this one has the color fix on it, so
it looks a lot
the
better,
eyes aren't aren't popping out as much. The colors definitely look better.
Yeah, that does look good. Even zooming in, yes, it will. It's not going to be perfect here, but
yeah.
See how it's kind of adding those leaves and like birds. Look, there's a bird right there.
Oh yeah. Funny.
So we could, and that's what ControlNet does. That's why in this one right here, we got a fish in the ControlNet one, and this one it didn't put a fish in there because it doesn't try and reimagine things. It just tries to add detail. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the jury's out. We're still trying to figure this out. Let's save this real quick as the ControlNet version.
I think simplifying the prompt is something for Ultimate Upscaler and Multi-Diffusion, where you do want to simplify it down, then you don't get those animals in there and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that does help, and you've got that extra detail from the original image where you've sized it up, sized it down, and then you upscale it to the full size.
Right. I like that. For me, it works. Maybe there's a better way to do that, but I think it works great. Do you see anything here in with the size? Why it would be squishing it like it's? Why would it be doing that?
Did it squish it again after you did just resize?
I think so. I can test it real quick. So, whoops. Let's open those again. I have 3 selected. So tile diffusion, yeah, see? It's just weird. I'm not sure why, but here's the tile diffusion. Here's the ControlNet version.
Yeah, colors are definitely different. Yeah. Details are definitely different.
I'm not going to say one's better than the other, but yeah, you're right. You're pointing out some of the details. It has more contrast. You do have to do more prompt curation with the ControlNet version. Otherwise, you're going to get weird stuff like that. But I've just been so happy with the multi-diffusion upscaler. Like it's just simple. You don't have to worry too much, and you can get something that's 80% awesome. If you really wanted to dial it in, you could go with the ControlNet version. You could use regional prompting to try and, really work on those regions and apply prompts to just the regions. But yeah, and again, there's this squishing problem. I don't know what's going on, why it's doing that.
Well, why don't you pull up those images again? I know, you had one that I did where I upscaled it from a high-res one, so it was a much longer generation, took a lot longer, and I used ControlNet tile with multi-diffusion and the noise offset, which
you want to pull that up?
Yeah,
right here.
there it is right
one?
there. Yeah. So you see on the left is my original generation, right? It's just like it's already pretty detailed, but you see the face is like kind of off. There's like the dress, it's really interesting. If you look at the dress on the top there, right? These extra details get added in. And I had used an add detail, Laura. So when it went through and multi-diffused it, the details all got added in. In this case, it's like as an artist, I wanted to bring that out into the picture and really get all those extra details in there and make it
Yeah.
just like a very wild kind of, it was like cosmic psychedelic was in the prompt or something like that, and really
Yeah.
make those elements shine. So
And
just keep
clearly
that
it
in mind.
did
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like there it turned this bubble into like, a galaxy and like this planet,
Hmm.
and it yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, as an artist, you've got lots of choices for how you want to do things. I think multi-diffusion is definitely a step up from ultimate upscale in a big way. It gives you a lot more control with the region prompting, gives you much better results when you use control net tile. So there's just like a very big capability in that extension overall, and you can really dive into it and just like if you want spend a lot of time, get this perfect image, and you know generate like a very, very large picture, or you can just get like a great result that is consistent every time. Like in this method that we've got here, it's going to be fast, efficient, and you'll be able to generate a lot of high res images, upscaled and ready to go, in a way that's consistent, where the settings like produce consistent results, and you don't
Yeah.
have to mess around with
Just
tile sizes and different things every time.
Yep, just start with 512 by 776. Follow these little buttons right there, multi-diffusion, ultra sharp, scale factor 2, and just send it, and it'll do this. It'll do some really good upscales for you. And yeah, or you can really dial stuff in like you've done. Use that, what was it called, noise offset? Yeah, use the noise
Hmm.
noise offset. If you run out of memory, enable the tiled VAE. And you can do these on small cards. Our small servers have 8 gigs, and you can do these on it. I mean, our small servers are a bang for your buck, dude, because you can do this stuff. You don't need all that VRAM that everyone thinks you do. It doesn't necessarily mean your generations are going to be faster, even with more VRAM. So anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. When you have the ability to just set it and forget it, that's really powerful. And then as you learn, you can start incorporating different layers on top. One of our Discord users, Russ Cosmos, did this during the live stream, and we just thought it was so cool. This is pretty high resolution. I'm not sure
I think that one
exactly.
was just high res fix. So that was just
Oh,
like
okay, just a quick,
normal high res
easy.
fix.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and this is a great example of something that would be awesome to run through multi-diffusion, right? Because you've got all these details on the cloak there. I think the texture on this jacket would really pop, as well as the background. So
Totally.
that's something where, just simplifying the prompt down, don't put robot in it, don't put, you know, technology, blah, blah, blah. Just put something simple like high res, absurd res,
Kind of want to.
cinematic, anything like
I
that.
kind of want
You
to
can get
try
a really
that.
great result.
Do you want to run one really quick and try that, just to kind of show people how the prompting?
Yeah,
Let's
let's do it.
disable this real quick, and then we'll wrap it up and be done. So we'll put multi diffusion back on here. We're gonna go back to 92, 2.25 balance, perfect. Take that off. Yep, perfect. So what we want to do is we want to go get like the best symmetrical octane render intricate details
That's all.
HDR.
That's all good stuff. Yeah, I think you can get everything up until one girl. Oh,
Yeah. Well, that's doubled. I don't know why that's there. I want to take CGI off because that turns things
mm,
plasticky and
right, right, right.
yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
So we'll do that and then literally just we're done. Actually, I kind of like sunshine. It's going to help us with lighting a little bit. What else do we like? We want all the flowers, birds, get rid of all those. Yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Okay, and then in
So,
the negative, you can take out like the end bit, bad anatomy. Like we don't need to worry about the
oh,
anatomy of
true.
the trees,
We don't
right?
care
You can
how
take that
young
out.
anything is. Yep, good call. Okay, and then leave all of this. I like that being, yeah, and then we can even move that up a little bit just because it's not going to get too creative.
Hmm.
that as well. Yeah, we could do like 4.5 maybe. That's kind of high. Let's do like 4.2. And then that looks good. Yeah, let's see how that rolls. All right, this looks really good. So, yeah, this is what we got. It looks good. I kind of we lost a little bit of that leather texture. We got a lot of really intricate details. I mean, that's what we asked for, right? But it's high res. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think the face got a lot softer and less defined. I think
Yeah.
because of the fact that it wasn't prompted in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like just
I mean, I
having that
wonder.
regional section done
Yeah, I
and
wonder if we did something
really,
like this and did like, high resolution skin tone face or something like that and sent that through. That probably would look pretty good. Um, yeah, maybe we'll do another video about that regional upscaler because that's pretty exciting, pretty powerful. But that still looks really good. I mean, let's see what this looks like as. So we'll do this one's gonna be our tile diffusion 2, and let's see what that looks like, and then we'll wrap up. Okay. So here's tile diffusion 1, and then 2. And again, the difference between these two, what again? God, that first one just does such a good job. I'm so convinced. It's just so natural
great.
looking. It just looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
The difference
Definitely.
was we changed the prompts, right? Like that's really
Yeah.
the only difference is we started messing with the prompts. Did we mess with? We did move that up a little bit. I wonder if we moved these back down. That while we look at this. So yeah, I mean, really, you can just get such good results with that first workflow right there. I mean, that looks awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to get consistent results. I think it's like simple. You don't need to change a prompt. You don't need to do anything. You can just multi-diffusion, get
Use
a
the same
great result.
prompt. I mean, yeah, but you can always take it a step further. So,
Yeah.
well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Multi-diffusion. Awesome upscaling. Thanks for staying with us. If you stayed till the end, you're awesome. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out. If you were here for the live session, we appreciate you. If not, this is available on YouTube. And we're going to keep doing this every week. We want to try and do this multiple times a week. All right, cool. To send us off, we got our last little generation here. Looks great, but again, struggles to stay, really consistent on the realism and the color even. Yeah. Anyway, well, we have a good workflow. We hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks so much. Have a great one. You good, Revolved?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
You guys are great. Have a great one. Bye.